Hello everyone, thank you for joining us on our May Take and Make. Today we're going to be talking about our windmill, and it's National Windmill Day on May 14th. So it's a very fun month, and in Holland they're celebrating with 950 windmills. They're going to be open to the public to tour, and there'll be guides kind of showing you the inner workings. I will be putting a bunch of links in the description of this YouTube video if you'd like to check that out. So by now you would have picked up your bag at the Glen Abbey front desk, and these are some of the contents that you'll find in it. There should be a little package of wood laser cut pieces, a business card, so you can email us your pictures of your windmill when you're done, and also some other information. And we have everything here that's in the package kind of laid out, so you can make sure and double check that you have everything in front of you. Make sure that there is the big thing you might get lost is a little circle piece that's at the very top above the propeller. Just make sure you have that. That's going to be our final piece of our finishing touch to our windmill. So just lay it out, get ready. Alright, so we're going to get started with our windmill body, the main body of the windmill. And we're going to be using wood glue for this to keep it all together. So we're going to be moving the three pieces away from what we're gluing for now, not to make a mess. So that's the front of the windmill, and then the two sides with the windows. So we're going to be working on the back for now. You want to make sure that you do the slatted sides. One piece has laser engraved slats on the side. Make sure you turn it around so you're using the clean side. Alright, so we're just going to add a little dab of glue on all the little tabs on the side of the laser cut wood. Don't be afraid to be too messy on this. More glue the better. You can always wipe it away later. So then after you get the glue on there, let it sit for a minute or two, just so it can become a little more tacky. That's a little bit easier to keep your pieces together. Now that we let the glue sit for a minute or two, just to let it become more tacky, we're going to grab our side walls with our window and make sure that you get the slats. These are what we talked about before. Make sure you put the slats on the outside, so you get the nice look and feel of the old-timey windmill. So just put that in the glue, let it sit on the tabs on the wall, make sure it fits to the tabs on the back. Then just let it go. You can always clean up the glue as you're going. And one of the tricks to the wood glue is if you just rub it on your hand really quickly, it'll just dry up and you can get rid of it quickly. Don't be afraid to get it on your fingers, won't hurt anything. Then we'll put the other piece on and just let it sit. If you give it a couple of minutes, just let it sit there, and then it'll start to become solid. Then you can always fill it in with a little bit more glue. So we're going to do the exact same to the front of the windmill. The front is the one with the window. And once again, make sure you are putting the slatted side face up. Put a little more dabs of glue on each corner. And once this is dry, you can always go back in. I always recommend adding a lot more glue just to make sure you keep it together so nothing becomes loose. Wood glue typically dries. If you look at the bottle, it will dry clear, so you don't have to worry about it looking terrible. Alright, so with it on all of the tabs, we're just going to put it on top. And then this is where the elastics can also come into play if you want, or you can just let it sit. It shouldn't be an issue. So we'll just put it on top, on the other tabs, and just let it sit. And give it a couple of minutes to dry. Now that our glue is dry, you can pick it up. Once again, probably about 5 minutes, you should be more than safe. Alright, you pick it up, you see the cute little house, little base. This is where you can add a ton more glue if you'd like. Just want to make sure that it's secure, so we'll just move that out of the way for now. And we're going to start working on the roof. So we're going to bring in our two pieces that have the shingles laser etched into them. So we're going to be putting it on the top, and once again, make sure that you are putting them on so the shingles are pointed down. And we're going to be putting it on the tabs. We're going to be applying the glue to the tabs, and you can always use you'll see in a second, we're going to use our fence to prop up the base. Just make sure it's a little more flat, a little easy, sits on there a little bit easier. So a little bit of glue on the sides. Once again, feel free to go crazy with the glue. It dries clear, so it'll look fine. Once again, make sure that your roofing is pointed down. And we're going to put it on. And your tabs should be touching the side of the walls. Nice and easy. Now, like I said, we're going to be grabbing our fencing. You can stack all three on top of each other and kind of prop it underneath. Just because of the angle, it might be a little bit easier for the wood to glue together. There you go. And we'll just let it sit for probably 2 to 3 minutes just to make sure that it doesn't come off, and then we'll do the other side. Alright, here we have both sides of the roof done. No sense boring you doing the same thing twice. And I now added a little bit more glue. As you can see, it'll dry clear, so that'll look good. Now let's put that off to the side, and now we're going to start working on our little scene that the windmill will sit on. So we're just going to put the glue on the base of our windmill. Let's give it a bunch of glue on the bottom there. Get this on camera here. So let's add glue to the whole base. Once again, it dries clear, so it will be nice and clean when you're done. You just have to make sure that it's going to stick. So let's just make sure it sticks first. Put lots of glue, and then we're going to stick it on the platform that we have on the far left-hand corner. Or if you'd like it to be on the right-hand side, it's totally up to you. Just make sure it's on the very far side, almost touching the edge. Next, what we're going to be putting on is a little bit of trim on the front of our windmill. Now we're going to want to put the laser cut details on the outside, so make sure you glue the back side of it, the clean part. Feel free to give a ton of glue on here. We want it to stick to the front. It's just a nice piece of trim that kind of cleans up the front, any of the lines that you'll see from the two pieces of laser cut wood put together. So just put it on the front here. If you use enough glue, you don't need to lay it on its back. You can just simply put it on. It'll be nice and snug. You don't have to worry about it. And we're going to do one for the back as well. You should have two in the package. So we turn it around. Laser cut detail on the outside. We'll apply our glue to that. Nice thick amount of glue. Make sure it sticks. And after it's done, you want to give it, once you've done this, probably about 3 to 5 minutes. Let it dry. And then you can always go back in again, just to make sure everything's nice and snug and secure. You can add a little bit more glue to the edges. And let it dry. And now we're going to be doing our happy little picket fence. So we're going to grab the one that does not have the tabs on it. The one that's nice and clean, and that's going to go on the far right side. Or if you put your windmill on the other side, put it on the far left side. So, once again, just add a healthy amount of glue to the bottom of each of these spikes. Or the lattice work. And then we're just going to put it on the base, stand it straight up. If you put enough glue on there, it should stand up on its own. You don't need to rest it against anything or use elastics. Once again, elastics are a nice trick to kind of keep everything nice and snug together, but you shouldn't need it. Just have patience and let the glue do its job. Alright, so now we're going to put on the other side pieces. So the two pieces, the two joints, we're going to be adding glue to those, and we're going to butt it up against the piece that we just put on there. And some to the bottom. Once again, make sure it's a good healthy amount of glue. You can always wipe it away if it's really messy. It should fit nice and snug up against the windmill and against the one on the far side. And the exact same thing with the back piece. Put a little bit of glue on the bottom and also on the tabs. A little bit of drip going on. Once we put it in there, make sure everything is nice and snug and nice and clean. nothing's leaning in awkward places, and just let it dry. Now that that's dry, let's turn our windmill on its back, and we're going to be adding the blades now. So you should have the blades in your little package. We're going to be adding a dab of glue right to the top of that little ornamental piece, and just put your windmill on there, your little blade. And then you should also have a little circle, and that's going to be a little cap just for decoration. So add another dab of glue on top of our blades, and put your little circle on there. Then give the whole thing probably about 5 to 10 minutes just set, and then you're good to go. That's your little windmill. I hope everybody enjoyed today's take and make, and I will be putting a lot of links in the description again about the windmill day that we celebrate at the beginning of May. And thank you, and hopefully we see you next month. Have a nice night.